Well, here's a crazy piece of advice. I can't believe I have to say this, but guys, stop going to your GP, your general physician for your mental health. I mean, I know they're quick to want to help. I know they're medical doctors. I know they got some training in mental health. I know they have that little pad and that pen, and they can write you a benzo or an SSRI or a sleep aid. But here's the thing, guys, they're not equipped. Not all doctors are created the same. They're not. Not all mental health professionals are created the same. For example, there's a lot of master level mental health providers, which I think is fine for certain things, especially I'd say lesser severe things. But you know, there's a reason why PhD doctors are paid more. The training is just it's a lot more. It's just so much more. It's so much more specialized, and without going into a big drawn out explanation for that. I mean, just the short answer is they're just trained more. They know more. They're specialized in this one thing. I mean, we see this in mechanics. A lot of basic mechanics, they don't do transmission work or they won't replace a motor. They just sort of do everything else. If you want your transmission replaced, you got to go to a transmission expert. And this is automotive. You think, well, shouldn't all mechanics be a transmission expert? No. Transmissions are very, particular, very unique. Mental health is very particular and very unique. General practitioners are not equipped, in my opinion, most of them, to be playing this role, especially in the role of giving you advice psychologically. I mean, this is where I have a huge issue with medical doctors, whether GP or psychiatry. You know, you're not trained in talk therapy, and there's a danger. I mean, I can lose my license uh, for not conducting my work right. I can not even get licensed if I sit here and play doctor. I mean, it's illegal. You can't even call yourself a psychologist without that license. I mean, and the reason for this is because they know you can do more damage. People going through traumatic things. I mean, you could tell them the wrong advice. You don't, you don't have an informed, um, educated opinion on where you're taking the treatment for that person. So you could drive them right into suicide or into some super traumatic situation or put their lives in danger or then also here's what happens. People, with I see this with psychiatry all the time. They start playing, Freud with their patients. And it's like once you let you open Pandora's box, you can't put everything back in. They don't know what to do then. They know how to open the box. They'll probe their childhood, they'll probe things, and then, the person gets there and then they don't have any real rhyme or reason for what they do next. Now they're just going on their good advice. And this shows like a little bit of narcissism to think that you've got it figured out enough that that's all psychology is good advice, good common sense, which is, one of the dumbest things I've heard while I was in school from, even from my own friends. I've heard it from a few people that isn't psychology just good advice, common sense? I said, well, you tell me. If you got an autistic kid banging his head against a wall, why is that, and what do you do? Is that common sense? I mean, there's a very detailed reason for why you see this kind of behavior, and there's a really detailed uh, form of treatment, which is not intuitive. You know, part of treatment with kids that smack their heads is you don't run and pick them up and cater them and put the helmet on them and everything. Um, a lot of treatment in anxiety and depression and things like that, it's not, how do I put this? It's not. It's just not common sense. It's going to be a lot of stuff that seems contradictive. There's going to be things that don't even seem necessary, but there's a reason for it. It's based on research. There's a plan. This is uh, conceptualized form of treatment here is what I'm getting at, guys, without rambling here in this topic. But so I just have a problem with psychiatry just playing that role. Uh, and it's just dangerous. And so, guys, so stop going to your GP, okay? He's not even a psychiatrist. He's just a general physician. So why would you go to him for that? If you needed heart surgery, would you go to your GP? No, you would go to a cardiac specialist. So why do we put our mental health in the hands of a GP? Is it because it's convenient? Is it because we just come to trust him so much? Or he's a really not, how many times I hear this? "Oh, my GP is just so cool," or "She's so cool. She's so nice. She really gets it." Look, you got to remember this too, guys. Whether it's a professor or your physician of any kind, they don't have to be your friend. That is not the key deciding factor of if these people are good for you. You can not like them at all. Just completely not get along with the doctor, and he could be the best thing for you. And vice versa, and this happens oftentimes we get with a doctor that we think is, you know, just such a cool, swell person, and these are the people that hurt us the most. So my best advice on this situation is stop going to your GP for mental health needs, sleep, any of that stuff. They're not equipped.